Many people who are really good at mathematics, in particular many famous mathematicians, have said that one of the reasons that they're so good at mathematics is because they had a very, very strong foundation. Their foundational mathematics was really good. And a lot of times that happens for people because when they're kids and they're young, they go to school and they have a lot of math when they're young. Well, that might not be your situation, and I think that certainly wasn't my situation. I didn't really start learning mathematics until I was much older, 24 to be exact. And this is actually where I started learning, and this is basic mathematics. So in this video, I'm going to give you some tips so that you can master basic math. And basic math is important. It makes you so much better. You know, if you look at all of your teachers that you've had in high school or in college, and you wonder, how do they know so much mathematics? It's not because they're super smart or because like they're math geniuses or anything like that. It's because they've done a lot of basic math. You know, when you teach a class, like let's say college algebra or intermediate algebra, you do it all the time and it makes your math so much stronger because you master those basics. So this is a book that you can use to start learning basic math. And the book is called Intermediate Algebra for College Students, and it was written by Robert Blitzer. Now, Robert Blitzer has another book called College Algebra, which is also fantastic, and I've used that to teach from in college. I wanted to recommend this book, though, for a couple reasons. One, it's thicker. It's a much thicker book. Two, this is about mastering the math basics. So if your math is really weak, you might not be ready for college algebra, right? You might have to start with intermediate algebra, and that's what this book is. There's his name, Robert Blitzer, Miami-Dade College. And this particular edition is from, looks like 2017. It's been reprinted many times. I'll try to leave a link in the description of this video in case you want to check it out. And let's just briefly look at some of the topics here. So it starts with basic algebra, functions and linear equations. So this is a good book, not just for self-study, but as a supplement. So if you're taking an intermediate algebra class in college, or an algebra class in high school, or a college algebra class in college, you could use this book as a supplement to those courses. Systems of linear equations, inequalities and problem solving, polynomials, functions and factoring, rational expressions, functions and equations, radicals, people don't like these, quadratic equations and functions. So this is some stuff that you see in a college algebra course. Notice here it's in chapter 8. So in a college algebra book, this might appear like in chapter 2. So there's a lot of preliminary information here and a lot of extra practice that you get from a book like this versus a book on college algebra. So this is really more for math basics. This here is also a more advanced topic for intermediate algebra. So like if you were to go to college and take a course on intermediate algebra, you probably would not cover this chapter. So it's kind of extra and kind of fun that Blitzer decided to throw it into this book. Likewise, this is a topic, conic sections and systems of nonlinear equations, that you would study perhaps in a college algebra or in a pre-calculus course. Again, the fact it's in this book is just a big bonus. Same thing here, this is really a pre-calculus level topic, at least in the United States, something that's taught in pre-calc. So again, something you get from this book as a big extra. And it's a very modern book, so you know, it's modern, right? It's got pictures and all that stuff, but what it does do well, and I'm not saying modern is bad, is it has good explanations. As you can see here, it goes through and explains everything really, really carefully, which is what you need when you're learning on your own. So basically, you pick up the book, right? You start reading it, working through the examples, you take your time, and you don't have to finish a whole section in one day. I mean, you can see the sections are kind of big. There's a ton of examples. Look, we're at example 10 already. 13, wow. 14 examples in section 1.2. That's pretty crazy. Then you get to the exercises and you just have tons of problems for practice. So yeah, you can really test your skills. This one has answers to all of the odd-numbered problems also in the back of the book. Here's where Blitzer talks about the standard forms of the equation of an ellipse. So even if you know some basic math, you might not know this. And this is something, again, that comes up in a pre-calculus course. This is one of the topics that I really like because this is something that I actually never learned in school. In fact, my first exposure to this, which is going to sound crazy, my first real exposure where I really had to know it was when I had to teach at a certain college, and I was a graduate student, and I had to teach the students conic sections. I had seen conic sections a little bit in calculus and enough to get by, but I hadn't really like delved into the formulas, and so I had to teach myself everything with conics, and I was able to learn it pretty quickly. Why? Because I had a very strong foundation on my math basics. I was able to pick up a book, the one I was using to teach the class, and just pick it up in one day and go into the next day and teach it. So that's what happens when your math basics get really good. So if you get really good at basic math, it makes it so much easier to learn new math. And that's why I think mastering the math basics is important. And that's why so many people always say, like, oh, one of the reasons I was good at math is because I had a strong foundation in the basics. It's because the more math you know, the easier it becomes to learn new mathematics. But yeah, this is a great book. My advice would be to sit down with this and try to, work through it for a little while. Do at least one example a day. Do at least one exercise a day. It'd be better if you could do more every day, but I always think that it's better to start with at least one, because there'll be some days that you don't want to study. And if you tell yourself you're going to do an hour a day, what typically happens for people is, they have other responsibilities and things, and they don't do it, right? They don't do it. But if you tell yourself that no matter what, you have to do at least one problem a day, like you make it a requirement in your life to do at least one math problem a day, you'll probably do it and you'll probably stick to it, and you'll become a lot better at mathematics. But yeah, it's a great book. So that's one way to master math basics. I also have courses on my website. They're on mathsorcerer.com. They're actually on the Udemy platform. But if you decide to get any of my courses, please use the links from my website, as it helps me greatly. And I've lowered the price on all my courses to make them as low as possible. So when you click those links, you should get a super low price. Also, if you found any value in this content, feel free to hit subscribe if you want to. If not, that's okay too. And I do have another YouTube channel. It's called The Fitness Sorcerer. So check that out if you're into fitness. But if you take away anything from this video, it should be that, basic math like this, even though you might feel like you already know it, it really does make you better at math. Oh, here's a good example. So this is an equation that comes up in physics, and I remember actually taking physics and not being able to solve this equation, even though I had already taken multiple math courses. So it just emphasizes the point that you can never get too good at it, right? Don't neglect the basics, because even though you think you know them, sometimes when you go back, you're like, oh, wait a minute, I didn't really know how to do that, or oh, I'm not really sure why that works. So master the math basics. It makes a difference. This is fun because I distinctly remember this on a physics test, and I had to solve for P, and I couldn't do it. And here I am in physics, and I've already had a bunch of math classes, I've done well, but I can't solve this for P. By the way, to solve this equation, what you do, well, they're telling you here, multiply by PQF. That's the easiest way, and that gets rid of all of the fractions. So yeah, good stuff. Until next time, keep doing mathematics.